wife and I were visiting Hawaii for our anniversary. Luckily for us, we had a ton of rewards points, so we were able to stay here at the Moana Surfrider at a greatly discounted rate. And let me tell you, this place is pretty fancy. In fact, this whole area is pretty fancy. This is only part of the lobby, and then you step out to the patio, or lanai as the Hawaiians call it. Much of the hotel was built around a banyan tree that's more than 100 years old. That tree is surrounded by an outdoor restaurant, a bar, lounge chairs, and the pool. But beyond all of that lies Waikiki Beach and the beginnings of a perfect sunset.
It's early November, but you're already starting to see a lot of Christmas decorations, which is pretty cool.
Since the holidays are coming up so quickly, I started thinking about Christmas presents, but the stores around me were not the typical ones where I normally shop. I kept going and going, but I just wasn't having any luck. Finally, about a quarter mile from our hotel, I ended up here.
Hello, I'm Bob from Bob's Workshop. I'm here in Honolulu at the U.S. Army Museum of Hawaii. It's going to be really cool. Behind me is a Japanese light tank that the American forces captured in the Pacific, I think, in 1943. It's amazing how small this is.
The Type 95 Japanese tank was mainly designed to support infantry. There's a 37mm gun in the turret, and also 2 machine guns. What sticks out the most to me is its size. I'm pretty sure that it's smaller than a Chevy Suburban. It might even fit in the garage next to your lawnmower. Some of the rust is getting really bad, and I think it's going to need more than fiberglass and Bondo to still be here in another 80 years. There's no way that I would ever fit into one of these, but somehow it held a crew of 3. Can you imagine how hot the interior would be in the jungles of the South Pacific? And then there's the American M24 light tank that mainly saw action in Europe during the later war years. It has a version of the same 75mm gun used with the Sherman tank, but had thinner armor. It was mainly meant for reconnaissance, so it was built more for speed than head-to-head combat with German panzers. On the opposite side of the museum, a few hundred yards away, is the Pacific Ocean. So the salt air and humidity are also not helping to preserve this tank. Maybe 25 or 30 feet above the ground level are a few more outdoor displays. There's an AH-1 Cobra gunship from the Vietnam War era, and then, just behind it, aimed seaward, is a reminder of this museum's original purpose. This gun is much smaller than the giant artillery piece originally here. That would have been an M1907 cannon capable of firing a 14-inch shell at battleships nearly 30 miles away. This was called Battery Randolph when it was built in 1911, and it held two 14-inch guns. It was part of Hawaii's coastal defense system and remained so until after World War II. It became a museum in 1976. I've always been interested in World War II, but mostly with the fighting in Europe. So, I was surprised to see American soldiers of Hawaiian or Japanese heritage escorting Nazi POWs and then driving around in captured Schwimmwagens, which are basically German amphibious jeeps. Just like so many other veterans of World War II, the Hawaiian soldiers also returned with an assortment of war trophies: helmets, pistols, knives, iron crosses, and who knows what else. The museum has a large collection of guns and rifles from nearly every country that participated in the Second World War. Because this was a fort with its own battleship-sized guns, it was built to withstand fire from similar weapons. The thickness of the concrete walls ranged from 12 to 20 feet, with the seaward-facing side being further protected by an additional 30 feet of compacted earth. The thought of being within the fort while on the receiving end of enemy fire is pretty terrifying. I was even a little claustrophobic just walking through the narrow concrete hallways. Battery Randolph never had to fire its guns in anger, and never came under attack itself. In fact, it was considered too difficult to demolish even after it had been decommissioned. At one point, it was a warehouse, until it became the museum in the mid-1970s. I do enjoy miniatures and military models in particular, and like many such places, the U.S. Army Museum of Hawaii has a really nice collection. I especially enjoyed this small diorama, not only for its build quality and dramatic lighting, but it's also in 1/48th scale. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that as the perfect size that's compatible with Lionel O-gauge trains. My normal plan of attack when visiting any museum is to begin with and end at the gift shop. I didn't buy anything at Fendi or Louis Vuitton, but I did pick up a few t-shirts here, and I've been wearing them on a pretty regular basis ever since.
What are you doing over there, little buddy?
Having our complimentary beverage. So we got a pina colada. Oh my gosh, video.
That's about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this has been Bob's Workshop. Take care.